This is Women Road Warriors with Shelley Johnson and Kathy Tuccaro. From the corporate office to the cab of a truck, they're here to inspire and empower women in all professions. So gear down, sit back, and enjoy.
Welcome. We're an award-winning show dedicated to empowering women in every profession through inspiring stories and expert insights. No topics off limits on our show. We power women on the road to success with expert and celebrity interviews and information you need. I'm Shelley.
And I'm Kathy.
Have you ever just wanted to go for it without any hesitation and just pursue that dream of yours with no regrets? Meirav Rosenberg spends her time showing women how. She's a highly sought-after consultant and speaker who teaches women how to be brave, bold, and ballsy. How women can grow a pair and take charge of their dreams. She talks about the muscle of self-worth and succeeding without sacrifice. Meirav has proven she knows how. She spent over 17 years in digital marketing, design, and business. She's the founder and CEO of the Pause Agency and Pause Interactive, where she works with clients that range from health and wellness to real estate to nonprofits. She helps them unlock their potential and digital presence. Meirav brings an energy and inspiration to everything she touches. We have the honor of having her on the show with us to hear some of her insights. Welcome, Meirav. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Shelley and Kathy. I'm very, very happy to be here, and thank you for doing all this amazing work.
Well, thank you, and we're excited. Oh, my goodness. Meirav, you've got some serious perspectives we want to know more about. What has driven you to evolve the way you have? I mean, this is super impressive. Tell us about yourself.
So I'm 42, and I think it's an important part because I have two 16-year-olds, twins, boy and a girl, where I think is very, very challenging, and I'm enjoying my time a lot at this time. I have a 10-year-old. I think that I've always wanted to be a mother, and I was born in Israel. I was religious, Jewish, religious, Orthodox, living in Jerusalem. And at a very young age, my father, who was a diplomat from the Ministry of Finance, got relocated to New York City. So from Little Israel, we moved to New York City when I was 7. Did not know anybody, and obviously it was an amazing experience. However, my father died in a tragic car accident when I was 10.
Oh, so sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as a child, learning that, your father will not be in your life anymore had triggered something in me. And I really feel like that was the first time probably where you are old enough to make a choice. You're old enough to make a choice whether it is that you are going to take this tragedy and really be a victim and say, oh my God, this happened to me. Or that you can take a tragedy like this and say, okay, it's very sad what happened, but how do I move on from this? And I call this a moment of choice. I say this a lot in many of the things that I have dealt with along in my life. But there is a moment where something really big happens. And today I don't even call it bad or good, but something happens and then you have a choice. You have a choice to choose joy, whatever the problem was. Whatever happened to you, you still have a choice. Will it be difficult? Yes. Will it be sad? Oh my God. And it never, I think, ends being sad. But I think that you have a choice. And when we talked about the fact that, ballsy, I think it's unfortunately a manly term, but it's kind of okay. Being a person that chooses very easily is a trait that most people give to men.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
men choose easierly than women usually. So I think like from a very young age, I knew that I had to make choices. I knew that I had to make decisions. And that's what we did. And I think I've always seen my mom as someone who also makes decisions very easily, is someone who has always been a career woman. And I did see that, you have a lot of strength for making your own choices. And so at that point of time, I think that's when I realized that there is a difference between what you choose and what you get to have in your life when making choices like that.
Why do you think men make choices more easily than women?
Well, I think initially they're given more confidence than women since like forever. Like I really feel that if we look at history, right? And if we have stories in our mind that we do, then we can definitely see that men are given more responsibility. I mean, look at America. If there ever is a choice between a man and a woman, it doesn't really matter who it will be. They usually choose men. And I think that choice given over and over and over again does cause, I think, self-confidence with every woman,
Yeah,
especially with women who are raising women.
very true. And, even if it isn't talked about, it's this underlying knowledge or thought, the cultural inclination to favor men. I mean, as a little girl, girls see this. It's all conditioned, isn't it?
It is conditioned. And I think that I must say about me that the power does not interest me. I'm not a very competitive person. I'm more friendly, loving, want a lot of people to be happy, kind of a healer, service provider person. And I think that power does not interest me at all. It doesn't make me tick. It doesn't. And I think that men specifically do have that kind of sense, and with that kind of take that power in their hands. And I think we just somehow during history we gave it to them. I don't know how. I don't know how, but we did. But we did.
Yes. Very patriarchal, patrilinear, if you will. Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yep.
And I think that this is our time.
Amen to that. So do we.
Yep.
Onward, onward. We ride, right? Absolutely. So you were able, Meirav, you had some serious tragedy at a very early age. And going from Israel to a huge city like New York City, oh my, you really had to adapt. Do you think that that helped maybe galvanize your goals and give you the strength you needed?
I think, and I did the same thing like for my children as well. Opening up Paz agency in New York, we obviously after my dad's tragedy, we did move back to Israel, and I spent many of my childhood and adulthood in Israel, finding my ex-husband and having 3 kids here. And then I thought to myself, that the experience of relocating to such an amazing, amazing city. And I always say this, I say this to my new fiance. I say to him, listen, I love you, okay, right after my children. And then it's New York, and then it's ChatGPT, just so that you know that I have like this order. And really like now, like I have a new obsession, ChatGPT, but it was New York before, and Tomer, my love, he's before those. But I actually love New York so much, and I fell in love with it as a child. And I always say it was kind of, I don't know how, it's either you love New York or you're like, or you don't. But when you love New York, it's like you're cheating. I really feel that way. because it's so infatuating, and that's what I felt as a child. It was you being in a place where there's so many opportunities and so many choices, and I love that. I love having many choices and I love having opportunities. And I think finding that from a small, tiny country, and even being English is my second language, right? Hebrew is my first language. And English is a main key to I think success, especially when you come from such, like, our country is like 9 million people. That's it. And so going into a place with like 300, 400 million people, right? It's the opportunities multiply. And I've always been a numbers game. My father is in economic, and I've always been into numbers. And so you really have to like give yourself as many opportunities as you can. And I think that's what New York symbolizes to me. And then I took my ex-husband and 3 kids with me on a journey to New York. And I think that they are different people due to that, because the adaptation, and I think that's what we all, by the way, need, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how do you succeed in life? The way that you are flexible in your mind, the way
Yes.
that you adapt to situations and problems. And yeah, so from a very young age, I had that kind of lesson, of adapting to this, adapting to tragedy, adapting to change. So much change in my life has occurred. And I feel like this has given me optimism.
You have some really serious wisdom for 42. A lot of people at 42 still really don't know what they want to do when they grow up.
Yeah.
And the fact that you saw opportunity at such a young age, you saw a whole new world. You knew there was more out there. There was more potential, more opportunities. And the fact that you were able to grasp it, that took bravery, tenacity, all of the above. And I love what you're doing in terms of showing women they can do it too. And I love brave, bold, and ballsy. I mean, it really, this is powerful how women can grow a pair and take charge of their dreams. How do they do that?
I think there is a kind of a plan. And like I said, I'm a numbers woman. Okay. Like I think that digital marketing, by the way, is a numbers game. I mean, sales is a numbers game. I feel like we're all like, this whole world is math. Okay. And that's like a very, very spiritual level, but I feel like we're all just playing a numbers game.
Mhm.
And having said that, yes, numbers is kind of a man or a male quality, I believe. And as soon as you tap in to understanding that this is just a numbers game, meaning, let's give an example, okay? If you are afraid of rejection, which all of us are, all of us are afraid of rejection. But if you're a person that's afraid of rejection, all you have to do is think of it in regards to numbers. If you have, I would say 10, like, I help people, especially obviously women, date. Okay. It's not something that I do professionally, but because I took 60 dates to find my fiance on apps, okay, which a lot of people hate doing, and a lot of people are afraid of rejection. I usually come up to a lady and I ask her, listen, out of 10 men that you dated, how many said no to you? And how many have you said no to them? And the numbers are almost always the same. Probably 8 of the men that she said no to, and 2 said no to her. And so if you think of it in regards to numbers, wait, did I actually just get rejected? Or is this like a normal part of life and it's just a numbers game? And the way that I look at life is just, okay, I'm going to try and do this. I'm going to see what comes out of it. I'm not attached to the result of it. I won't be disappointed or heartbroken. And I think that's more of a man or a male quality. And that's why I say ballsy.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have like a very great laid out plan of how I do things. And I think that takes away of all my thinking that it won't work. I just have a plan. I have an Excel sheet. I have a Word document. I have a task list. And I just go by the plan. And if you go by the plan and you take away, I think, the kind of, like feeling of, oh my God, I'm going to like fail or get rejected, then everything will work out amazingly. And if you try that 3 times, I'm sure it's going to be a method for you as well. And I'm sure, absolutely sure, that you're going to see results from what you just did. So that's kind of my way of thinking. How I actually help women implement this is by actually giving them out the plan. But this is by having to build a business or two, having to do like a US visa for my agency, having so many business plans done for other people. It was super easy for me to say, okay, what's your goal? And let's take away the fear of rejection of that goal. And let's have a plan so you think less about the rejection.
Stay tuned for more of Women Road Warriors coming up.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. I have one question for you. Do you want to stop worrying about the IRS? If the answer is yes, then look no further. I've been around for years. I've helped countless people across the country, and my success rate speaks for itself. So now you know where to find good, honest help with your tax problems. What are you waiting for? If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or haven't filed in years, call me now at 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com for a free consultation and get your life back.
Industry movement Trucking Moves America Forward is telling the story of the industry. Our safety champions, the women of trucking, independent contractors, the next generation of truckers, and more. Help us promote the best of our industry. Share your story and what you love about trucking. Share images of a moment you're proud of. And join us on social media. Learn more at truckingmovesamerica.com.
Welcome back to Women Road Warriors with Shelley Johnson and Kathy Tuccaro.
If you're enjoying this informative episode of Women Road Warriors, I wanted to mention Kathy and I explore all kinds of topics that will power you on the road to success. We feature a lot of expert interviews. Plus, we feature celebrities and women who've been trailblazers. Please check out our podcast at womenroadwarriors.com and click on our episodes page. We're also available wherever you listen to podcasts, on all the major podcast channels like Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Amazon Music, Audible, you name it. Check us out and bookmark our podcast. Also, don't forget to follow us on social media. We're on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, YouTube, and other sites. And tell others about us. We want to help as many women as possible. Meirav Rosenberg believes that resilience and adaptability are the keys to thriving in both our personal and professional lives. She learned to adapt as a child, following the tragic loss of her father. She learned choices and decisions must be made. It's up to you if you decide to be a victim or you take a tragedy and say, it's sad, but how do I move on from this? A moment of choice is what Meirav calls this. Something happens and you have a choice to choose joy. She believes in choosing joy no matter what. How you succeed in life is how you adapt to situations. It's all a numbers game. You need to analyze your risk and lay out your plan to win. If you go by your plan, you'll see results. Determine your goal and remove the fear of rejection of that goal. Create a plan where you think less about the rejection and you'll get where you want to go. Meirav is a highly sought-after consultant and speaker who teaches women how to be brave, bold, and ballsy. She gives them back their power. She's the founder and CEO of the Pause Agency and Pause Interactive, where she works with clients that range from health and wellness to real estate and nonprofits. She helps businesses unlock their potential and digital presence. With over 17 years of digital marketing, design, and business, Meirav's mission is clear: to show women they're enough just as they are. We're enjoying her powerful insights. Meirav, your detail about making a plan makes so much sense.
It puts us in a more logical mindset. We rule with our head, not our heart, because a lot of times, if you take things emotionally, you're going to be discouraged. Like you were talking about rejection. If you look at it as a game of odds, a game of numbers, you keep at something, eventually it's going to be your turn, right? You're going to win.
You're going to win.
Mhm.
You're going to win. But you also have to believe that you're going to win. And I think that that's the most difficult part. But like I said, the things that take you back are the overthinking, which is totally figure outable by a really good laid plan. And like I said, if you think of the world as a numbers game, I think that you would understand. Like I have this client, she's like a sales expert. And she said, I used to work in Australia, right, in the carts. And I would write down like how many people said no to me and how many people said yes to me. So it came to like a place where in the beginning, it was 1 out of 6. So what I thought to myself, all I need to get is another 6 to have another sale. So this is exactly, I think, how we should think of life. It's just how many people do I need to reach out to in order to get what I want? And you don't know those numbers initially, but as soon as one says yes to you, then you have kind of an understanding. And I got this, by the way, from the digital marketing world that I do. I do so many sponsored ads for so many clients, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or Google. And the only way that you know if you're doing well is by measuring results.
Yep. Yep.
And as soon as you measure a result, I mean, you're not attached to a creative banner. I have 20 creative banners that I do for each campaign. I don't care if one succeeds and one doesn't. I just want to know what works.
Sure. Yep.
And I feel like, again, this is unfortunately kind of a ballsy aspect of it, but I had to learn very quickly on to be ballsy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and to open an agency in New York City, that's a very competitive town.
It is. But I remember everyone asking me, so why are you going to be different? And I said, well, because I'm me.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's another, you came to like, I think the most important part of what I do for women. And I think and this is for women, but I think for all, right? But women need more help in understanding how special they really are. I feel like we're like the most special race, like really seriously. We're amazing. We're absolutely amazing.
I think so too. We bring a lot to the table. We really do.
You bring life to the table, okay? Literally. And I feel like we're super special. And this is exactly what I said when I was interviewed for getting a US visa, right, with my business. And she asked me, it's very competitive what you do. There's so many people in your field. And I always say you do not have to be even the best, but you do have to be the nicest. One of my kind of mindset, how I work.
Mm-hmm.
But also I said, but there's only one me. And I think this is the main thing that I tell every woman, there's only one you. There will never, ever be anyone like you, Shelley, and anyone like you, Kathy, in the whole entire universe. Ever, ever, ever. And the qualities that you bring in to what you do is the reason that you do what you do. And I feel like purpose is supposed to be easily obtained. If you're good at something, then there's a reason for it. And don't like downplay it, like showcase it. Make sure that people understand that that is what you love to do, and tell everybody about it. And that's what's going to make you understand who you really are.
What do you say to a woman who says, I want to do this, but in my particular career field, it's male dominated and the glass ceiling is really thick?
Change locations, change a job. I really would say that. I know that is super ballsy, but I feel like if someone says that, they're not hurting enough. The reason why I have an agency is because me and my ex-husband had a very difficult relationship. It wasn't a great one starting out. And when my twins were 3 months old, I was obviously on maternity leave, and I couldn't go back to the job that I did because I did want to take care of them, and I needed to find a different one. But we had a very, very bad relationship at the time, and having twins did not, I think, help that even more. But I was in love with my children, and I knew that I needed to be financially independent. And so I started working in the mornings and at nights just to have the financial freedom that I needed. And I think that you could always go and do better if you know what you want to do. So if you have an example, that would be an amazing thing to talk about. But as for women having so many options, and this is me speaking out of my digital marketing kind of expertise, right? I have seen so many different women, entrepreneurs, whether it's interior design, whether it's HR, whether it's female-oriented, anything, e-commerce stores, CBD, whatever. I have seen it all. And I feel like a lot of people don't know how many options are out there, how many hybrid jobs there are out there, how many people need the expertise that you don't even appreciate about you. And so what I would do is make a list of all the things that I love to do, and a list of all the things that I'm good at. By the way, they don't have to be, like the same at all. But I feel like when you go and find something that you're also good at, but also love to do, that's where the abundance comes from.
That makes sense. I think a lot of people have a hard time identifying that. Even if you ask somebody, what do you like about yourself? It's amazing, especially women hold those shy back. They don't want to, they feel like it's bragging. And you got to like yourself first.
Wow. This is a story about my little girl. She's going to be 10 tomorrow, actually. But probably a year ago, after I started healing myself and on a spiritual journey, she came up to me, and we used to do 5 good things before she went to sleep, meaning every night before she went to sleep. And this is due to me picking her up from school, I think in first grade, and she's saying everything was boring. I said, no. We're changing this. You're not telling me everything is boring. Life is amazing, and you're going to find out how much. And every night we started to do 5 good things before she went to sleep. And one night, and I always started because she always wanted me to start. And one night I said, well, I worked out in the morning. I ate very well today, very healthy. I said to her, I had a great meeting with an amazing new client. And then at number 4, I said, and I love myself. And then she says, Mom, you're supposed to love me. And I said, wait. Mom has made a huge mistake. I have to explain to you something. Before you love me, you love you. Before I love you, I love me. And this is right when you go on a plane and there's this the flight attendant is explaining what happens in case of an emergency, right? If the oxygen masks comes down, who does she say that you have to put it on first?
Yourself. Certainly, like in the case of a parent, you put it on yourself first so you can help your child. Yeah.
Exactly. And this is exactly the same analogy. You have to love yourself first. Otherwise, how are you going to love everybody else? And how are you going to have the space? How are you going to have how do you know, it's like Oprah saying, be so full of yourself that you're overflowing, right? And what she means is that you have to love yourself, because when you're full and full of love, full of your self-love, then all you want to do is love everybody else.
That's true.
And there's obviously the other side of it, right? When you don't have self-love and you're hurting, what do? Most people that are hurt, those are the people that hurt others.
Yes.
Not the people who love themselves. Definitely not the people who love themselves. They're not the one who do the hurting. And so one of the things that I would love it is if we teach our children and if we teach, kids at school that self-love is the most important thing. It's the most important thing. With this, we can do so much. And I think, like you asked about a person who is in a place where is male dominated, like if you don't have a seat in the table, then go get a different table.
I like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, me too.
That's a great slogan.
Thank you. I think I've heard it somewhere, so I'm not taking but I don't remember where, but it's an amazing phrase. If you don't have a seat at the table, go get your own table. And I think I did not do this starting out. I had an amazing woman boss, which is still one of my best friends, starting off. When I was a marketing director at a theater hall. That's how I started kind of my marketing way. And she was just like an amazing, confident, loving woman who just gave me really so much opportunity to do my own thing. And when it came time, and I had my side business that grew to, be way more beneficial than working full time for someone, then I just left just due to that, because I found something that I love and that I'm good at and that I can be of service to other people. And it was kind of, high abundance. Oh my God, I didn't even expect it to be that amazing. The scaling, that took a little more planning, but really, I feel like life is so full of opportunity. You really have to just make sure that you're ready for it. And like you said, people don't even like themselves, or people don't even know what they want to do. And I think that's the first thing that people should know. What is it that you want to do? And some people, when they don't know how to answer that, that's when I ask, what are you good at and what do you love to do? Even if it's a hobby, what do you love to do? And I sometimes, most of the time, find the correlation between the two. And then from my, fully seen so many businesses come alive through me, with me, offer my expertise of how how can you do this and that? What are your first steps? How do we start the plan? But it's first understanding that what it is that you want to do. Then obviously, when you know what you want to do, you'll find those opportunities you didn't even expect just because you're focused on a specific goal.
And that sets you on a path of passion and purpose when you think about it.
And I think people get lost in the illusions that life throws at us every single day by all the distractions, especially living in this day and age as opposed to, myself growing up in the 80s. And it's so easy to remain in that comfort zone and that, humdrum of everyday life that they forget about what it is they really wanted to begin with. And they fall into this routine or get stuck in a rut that they can't seem to get out of. I use pothole pitfalls quite often because in my talks, because you see those big potholes in the road and you try to avoid them, which is on the road of life. But sometimes you fall in one and you're like, damn, like, how do I get out? How do I do this? But all it takes is for you to stop and actually reassess your life. What is it you want? What is it that you want the most? And how did I somehow get sidetracked? I think a lot of personal reflection is key to change.
I completely agree.
Well said. Yes.
Yeah, very, very well said. I think that even if we fall, okay, which is something that I think we're programmed to do, by the way. Like,
I
if you
agree.
think about
Yeah.
it. I'm living in one of the most dangerous, I think, places in the world, really. And they keep telling us that, right? Dude, I know. Like, I know. I know where I'm living, but we have a constant news reminder. We have constant places showing us how dangerous it is all over the world. And it would be difficult for me to keep on being so joyful and optimistic if I decided to look at it. And sometimes it's inevitable. But like I said in the beginning of our conversation, there is something that I write in my gratitude notes every morning. Thank you for choosing joy. And it's something that I keep on reminding myself, because what I do focus on, I can attract and I can magnetize, and I am making sure that that is what I'm doing. And so if I fall into a hole, then part of it is learning how to get out of that hole. And maybe the part of getting out of the hole is something that I will need for the future not to fall in bigger holes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Here's something interesting. I needed a shower curtain, so I just grabbed whatever one that I found, and I didn't use it as a shower curtain. It's literally on my wall, sitting right beside me in my office, and it says, "Find joy in your journey." So on this shower curtain, what I've done is I've put pictures and gifts and cards and moments of all my travels on my journey that I have found joy in. And I have messages, I have reminders. I've traveled the world. I've seen so many people. I've done so much that this is my journey. And this, on the days that I'm feeling that I'm not making a difference, that I'm not feeling very good personally, I look at my wall and I read these messages and I look at the happiness and the joy of the people that I've been gifted to be in the presence of. And it really gets me out of my own rut. It helps catapult me back onto where I need to be and say, all right, woman, that's enough of that. Get moving.
That's amazing. It's amazing. And really, if you think about it, if you didn't have that, right? That journey that you did, or it's not the first time that we fell, right? It's definitely not the first time. But the fact of the matter is that you kept on going for you to have this wall. If you would have stayed stuck, then the wall wouldn't have existed.
That's right. That's right.
And so like I feel like this journey that we all are taking, and I saw Viola Davis saying this with Oprah Winfrey, two of my favorites, by the way. And she said, like, I know that joy and peace are not a destination, they're a journey. And I felt that. I completely felt that. And I said, okay, no destination, just like a journey. And it's difficult sometimes to think of it in regards to like, where are we going? And like you said, we're all kind of lost. So if we all know and we have that collective feeling of, okay, we're all lost, let's help you find your way. If we all can do a little bit of like helping someone find his way back home to him, to her, I think that's what we're here for.
So it's a journey. We need to exercise the joy GPS essentially so that we stay on track, right?
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better. Joy GPS. Definitely joy GPS.
That's a good one, Shelley.
It's a great one, Shelley. It's an amazing one. Yeah. A joy. Definitely enjoy.
I'm writing that down. That's good.
Stay tuned for more of Women Road Warriors coming up.
Dean Michael, the tax doctor here. I have one question for you. Do you want to stop worrying about the IRS? If the answer is yes, then look no further. I've been around for years. I've helped countless people across the country, and my success rate speaks for itself. So now you know where to find good, honest help with your tax problems. What are you waiting for? If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or haven't filed in years, call me now at 888-557-4020 or go to mytaxhelpmd.com for a free consultation and get your life back.
Industry movement Trucking Moves America Forward is telling the story of the industry. Our safety champions, the women of trucking, independent contractors, the next generation of truckers, and more. Help us promote the best of our industry. Share your story and what you love about trucking. Share images of a moment you're proud of. And join us on social media. Learn more at truckingmovesamerica.com.
Welcome back to Women Road Warriors with Shelley Johnson and Kathy Tuccaro.
In order to win the game of life, you need to believe that you're going to win. If you keep at something long enough, you'll get results. You need to lay out a really good plan. Don't give in to the things that get you off track, like the overthinking. Think of the world as a numbers game. This is just some of the insight of Meirav Rosenberg. How many people do we need to reach out to get what we want? To get that yes? It's a matter of figuring that out. The only way you know you're doing well is by measuring results. And as soon as you can measure a result, you'll know what works. It's the predictable law of averages and the analytics of life. Meirav teaches this and many other things to women. She wants women to know how amazing they truly are and that they can accomplish what they need. She teaches the muscle of self-worth and succeeding without sacrifice. She encourages women to be brave, bold, and ballsy and take charge of their dreams, and to remember there's only one you, and the qualities that you bring are the reason you do what you do. Showcase your strengths. Never downplay them. Make a list of things you love to do and a list of the things where you excel. That's where the abundance comes from. You can determine your direction and where you shine. You'll find the opportunities you didn't even expect just because you're focused. Also, if you don't have a seat at the table, go get your own table. With over 17 years in digital marketing, design, and business, Meirav's mission is clear: to show women they're enough just as they are. She's got some incredible insight. I especially love her interpretation of the joy journey and to help people find their way. She heads us in the right direction. That's why I mentioned a joy GPS. I don't know what made me think of that, but Meirav does provide the GPS for joy with everything she's doing. Don't you think so too, Meirav?
It's so important. But how do you find, by the way, just like a side note, how do you find joy on GPS?
I don't know. We need to create it.
No, you need to even write it down, right? You need
Yeah,
to know
right.
that that's what you're looking for. Then you need to place it on the GPS. Like GPS, take me to the place where you think I need to go. No, no. And most people are like that. It's like,
Yep.
okay, like life will show. No, no, no. You need to know where you want to go. And so, having said that, put in joy in your GPS. Put it in. Make sure that that's on your list of goals. And I promise you, it's not in like 90% of the people on their GPS.
You know, that perspective would so improve the world, wouldn't it? We'd get rid of a lot of angry, negative people if they could find the joy that's naturally within themselves.
Yeah, it's our birth given right, I think, to be joyful. And I think we're programmed totally different by so many reasons. So many reasons, really. To place instead of like peace and instead of like joy and instead of love, fear. And I think that we should just be acknowledging this, that there is a whole spectrum between fear and love and everything that's in between. And if you're too fearful, then you're not trusting enough that everything will be okay. And that happens for a reason, by the way. It happens for a reason. It happens from your life events. And like I said, you always have to be mindful to choose joy. And also, I think one of the things that I would have loved that someone would have told me early on, hi, life isn't easy. It's not supposed to be easy. Go. It's supposed to be joyful. It's not supposed to be easy. Go. Live your life. I wish someone would have told me that, because I think my interpretation of like life is supposed to be amazing for me, and then finding out that it's not was more devastating.
Yeah.
And as soon as you figure that out, that then life gets better, because okay, that's fine. It doesn't have to be easy. I have to work for it. But if I work for it, then great things will happen. If I choose joy, I work for my want, need, goal, then that would be amazing. I think I've been to India twice in the last year. And I felt that they don't even know what to ask for. They do not have the privileges that we do to ask for
Yeah.
what we know how to ask for. It was a very spiritual awakening for me to understand how other people live, how some poverty is like unbelievable. And it gave me, again, another sense of gratitude of like, oh my God.
Yeah, I went to India in 2018 and the same thing. I was in Delhi for a week and I was just shell shocked. I was just like, oh my gosh, right? It was very much an eye opener.
Yeah.
And Delhi is a main city. I've been to places that are not, and like people living in tents on, it was crazy. It was crazy seeing that. And I love seeing other places where I can get a perspective of how you can find joy. And I've also been to Bhutan, where that is supposed to be Happy Nation. And what it is that I think they have less demands, less desires. And I don't know, and I think maybe they're more in the present moment, like we started with the book, The Power of Now, that I'm reading. And I think that's what we're supposed to be doing. I think that's what we're supposed to be doing, kind of setting a plan to have a place where we can be present. So yes, we do need money in this lifetime. And by the way, love money, love. And why do I love it? It's just because I know what it gets me.
Yeah.
It gets me to have many adventures. It gets to have my designer bags that I love. It gets to have my beautiful apartment and decorating it the way that I want every single time. Travel with my kids, travel with my husband. And these are the things that I am wanting to get for money. And so as soon as you have, that's another thing, as soon as you have kind of a goal of what is the money going to be for, then it should arrive if you do everything that you need with the plan and where you want to go and what you want to do. And it gets really easy when you plan it out. Or at least it did for me and every client that I've worked with. It just gets easier.
A matter of a roadmap. I love your perspectives, Meirav, talking about joy and being ballsy, which is necessary. You got to have that. And testicular fortitude only come from a female perspective, which is more powerful as far as I'm concerned. And getting over the fear of taking the risk. And when you talk about the muscle of self-worth and succeeding without sacrifice and believing in resilience and adaptability, you have that on your website as the keys to thriving in both personal and professional lives. Your perspectives are amazing. Just wondering, do you have a couple nuggets we could leave with our listeners for them to think about, to set them on this course? Because you're changing the world, Meirav. I love this.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I think we're all changing the world little by little. Hopefully, we get to as many people as we can. I think the first things that I would want to leave you with is really follow people who you feel you want to see yourself becoming. What do I mean by that? I think that, like I said, we are programmed, and this isn't something that I am just talking about. It's something that I actually see happening, right? We have been programmed to be in fear, whether it's when living in a country with war, whether we're living in a country without women's rights, whether we're living in a country where we're less paid. It doesn't really matter. But we have a choice. We have a choice to follow different people, whether it's on Instagram. If you have someone you look up to, follow them. If you see someone who doesn't, ignite love and happiness, unfollow. And if you can't unfollow, then mute, right? This is what we see probably, I don't know, mostly 5 to 10 hours a day. We scroll, we use digital marketing. This is my job, so I know this very well. And what I'm saying is the people that you actually see and follow, those are the people who are creating your reality. So follow the right people. That would be the most important thing that I want to say. The second thing is, as soon as you follow someone different, you'll see that they have a certain set of values. And that brings me to the choosing joy portion of it. Hopefully, you'll choose people to follow that are choosing joy and that want to help you be a better person, be a better self, love yourself more, have more self-worth. So when you find that, just make sure that you listen to what they say. And then choose joy would be the first thing that I would want to say. Even if you don't believe it yet, choose it. Choose it with all your heart. Just choose you want joy in your life. You'll see more opportunities for that joy to come to life as soon as you choose it. And then I'm not just saying choose it. I'm saying, okay, now we're planning it. What will make you happy? Try and think of all the things. It doesn't have to come to you immediately, but you have to make sure you think about it. The other thing, you asked me in the beginning of our conversation how to say my name and what it meant. And like I told you, Meirav in Hebrew, in the Bible, means abundance. I didn't even know that. I figured it out it took me a long time, although the name and what it means in Hebrew is a lot, and that actually means abundance. And I guess I came to show people that abundant is in everything that you see.
Yeah.
The first thing that I do every morning, and that I have to say has changed my life, is say thank you. I do at least 20, 25 thank yous each morning. Sometimes when it's hot, I thank the air conditioner because a lot of people don't have that. And sometimes I thank coffee. Obviously, I thank my children being healthy and my beautiful, beautiful fiance. And I thank the trivial things. I thank flowers. I thank the fact that I have a beautiful view and it's a sunny day and that the sun is out and that the weather is beautiful. And I think that I have an amazing brain and that I have amazing clients. And I thank everything humanly possible in that situation. I take the time in the morning with my great cup of coffee that I thank for and give thanks to everything that I see. And I feel like if you start off with something, it could be like, my nails are amazing today. Really, it could be the smallest, teeniest thing that you see, and that you woke up in the morning healthy and that you're breathing. And it could go up to obviously more deeper, amazing things. And you'll see it getting bigger and bigger the more that you go. And so if you choose joy, if you do your thank yous in the morning and have a plan of what it is that you want to do and how you're going to get there. And if you don't know how to do two of those things, right, making a plan how you want to get there, then I always, always recommend getting a mentor. Someone who is where you want to get to. That's where you're going, okay? And it could change every time you surpass what you got to, okay? Sometimes the student surpasses the teacher, which is amazing, okay? And I love seeing that. I love seeing that. And so if you can find a mentor to help you set out a plan to get what you want, this is after choosing joy and being thankful for the things that you already have, because you already have so much. I think those are the main ingredients to get a life of abundance, to be more ballsy, to have way higher self-worth, and ultimately love yourself so much that you're so full that you can share this love with other people.
Well said, Meirav. That's profound. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Meirav, where do people reach out to you?
So they can reach me through my website, obviously, which is either it's meiravrosenberg.com, or they can go to pauseagency.com, where that's obviously my digital marketing agency, where we do so many branding and web designs and help people showcase who they are online in the best way possible so that they can, get their goals met as soon as they possibly can. So when they make that choice of joy, when they make that choice of making a plan, I am the one who is here to help them implement it.
Excellent. And your first name is spelled Meirav for those that are looking up your website. We'll have that in the show notes as well.
Thank you so much. It really was such a pleasure speaking to both of you. And thank you for having me on the show. And
Yes, thank you.
We really appreciate it, Meirav. It's been an honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And hopefully we did some good. That's really what it's all about.
We hope you've enjoyed this latest episode. And if you want to hear more episodes of Women Road Warriors or learn more about our show, be sure to check out womenroadwarriors.com. And please follow us on social media. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. On our website, we also have a selection of podcasts just for women. They're a series of podcasts from different podcasters. So if you're in the mood for women's podcasts, just click the Power Network tab on womenroadwarriors.com. You'll have a variety of shows to listen to anytime you want to. Podcasts made for women. Women Road Warriors is on all the major podcast channels like Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Audible, YouTube, and others. Check us out. And please follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to Women Road Warriors with Shelley Johnson and Kathy Tuccaro. If you want to be a guest on the show or have a topic or feedback, email us at sjohnson@womenroadwarriors.com.